Hi, I'm Melvin Nicholson, and today I am on the Isle of Skye, and in particular the road that takes you to the Quiraing and the Trotternish. Now normally I would drive it and I would park at the top, I would walk 30 seconds and be afforded some of the best views in the country. The problem today is that the road is particularly treacherous, icy, with snow. Not wanting to get stuck on the road itself, I have decided to walk it. So I've parked at the bottom. This is my 9-seater minibus that actually is a makeshift camper van. It looks a mess, but I have a mattress and everything that I possibly need for 10 days on the road in Scotland. So I have put my snow boots on. I will have some studded crampons to give me traction in the snow and the ice. A couple of jackets, including a down jacket to keep me warm. And I'm going to be walking all the way up there, which will probably take me about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It's about 1:30 now, so the sun will set in about 2 hours time, hoping to get some nice sunset shots, or at the very least, some elevated views of the Coolins, which are behind me, and the Old Manor store. So without further ado, let's crack on. So I've been walking for 30 minutes, and up until this point cars have been coming and going, which always makes you feel a little bit foolish when you could do the same. However, just as the road starts to creep up and get steeper and steeper and steeper, then the ice starts, and it's enough just to walk on this road, let alone drive it. So if I see anybody coming down here other than a 4x4, good luck to them. So I said, unless you're in a 4x4, you're going to struggle getting down here. Well, you can always rely on a good old Land Rover Defender. Finally, I have made it. Only took me 1.25 hours, and I must admit, I'm ready for a lie down. But, having just put my spikes on, because I'm now in deep snow, the views from the Quiraing here are absolutely stunning. In the background, you've got the prison, and here you've got the Needle. It takes about 1 hour to walk there, and then you pan around, and in the distance you've got a couple of locks, which are absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, you've got the Trotternish. Now, the Trotternish is a series of 45-degree angle landslips, effectively, and so the whole place is still continuously moving, and these are very, very impressive. They're huge, and at 45-degree angles, if you can get a photograph with a person on it for scale, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So I'm here on the edge of a cliff, on the edge of a ridge, and you'll see that it goes some way down, and that's the road that I've just walked on all the way into the distance, and as far as the eye can see. Now, some cars were getting up here, but my main concern was that once the sun sets, which is about to, the temperatures are going to plummet, and you'll find the roads will become super slippery. Not just slippery, but super slippery, and I don't want to get caught up here for one night. So I've made the sensible decision and left the car parked down there. But anyway, now I'm here, let's go and get a couple of shots. So I'm now set up and I've got a long lens on, 70 to 200, and I'm just focusing in the distance on some really interesting cloud formations that are just kicking out a little bit of colour just above the rocks and the hills in the distance. And you know, there is literally nobody about. So on the one hand, yes, the photography is very important. To come out and get a couple of really nice shots is very, very important. But there are times when perhaps the light isn't playing ball, when the conditions are perhaps less than favourable for good landscape photography. You know, it's just nice being out, and it's nice connecting with the great outdoors. I find it quite therapeutic, and something that I need to do a couple of times a year just to get away on my own and just take some downtime and just reconnect with, you know, what it is that I absolutely love about landscape photography. And I know that I'm not alone. There are so many people in the same boat. And so coming up to Skye, and tomorrow heading over, or the day after, heading over to the Outer Hebrides, you know, where I'll do a week. It's really good to sort of forge those links and to reaffirm those links with the great outdoors. It's very important to me. And so even if you don't end up getting a great shot, the fact that you're outdoors doing what you love to do, you know, I'm not going to complain at all. Not going to complain at all. So yeah, even if I don't end up getting, you know, a fantastic shot, having walked an hour and a quarter, so be it. The light is sinking over on the other side of the peninsula here, but that's fine. I'm just going to give it about another 20 minutes, half an hour before I start setting off. The light's starting to fade. Got a bit of blue sky, but it's just great being out, isn't it? Now I've just moved over a little bit. I was over there, and I tend to shoot a lot of the big sort of wide angle, the big vistas, and that's sort of what I've sort of known for, if you will. But every now and then I like to just concentrate on the smaller details, and having walked around the edge of this cliff face here, one thing I notice is that there are no footprints. And that's probably because nobody's daft enough to go near the edge. Maybe except me. Not necessarily daft. I am wearing spiked crampons, so you know I'm taking safety pretty seriously. And there are no crevasses here. The snow runs to the edge. You can see the rocks, so it's fine. There's nothing in the there's no overhanging snow for you to drop off. But one of the things I love about these sorts of scenes is that with no footprints anywhere, you get these wonderful shapes and subjects to shoot. So I've sort of set the camera up here with a 16-35 lens on, and I'm actually shooting one of my favourite portrait shapes, which is square, and that's the shot that I've sort of honed in on at the moment. So you'll see it in a moment. And basically it's a snowdrift, and you've got this lovely little clump of grass here that's protruding, and you've got this wonderful shape that comes into the corner. So it comes in the bottom right hand corner and curves its way around, and there's a little bit of a gap where the snow is slightly melted away, so you get to see the lip of that ridge. But that is absolutely beautiful. So I'll get a shot, I'll show it you now. Well, I got the shot, lovely square format of those lovely grasses, but I've gone one step further. I've gone a bit arty, which is not normally my style, but this is what I've gone for. All I've done here is I've just isolated, I don't know if you can see that, just isolated some of those grasses. There's probably about half a dozen there, just coming in from the bottom left hand corner, with a lot of negative space around it. Honestly, that'll look lovely in a white art gallery. Nothing else will, but that will. There's some lovely cloud kicking in behind, just over the prison and the Needle. Lovely, dark, dramatic skies with lots of texture. So I'm going to get a couple of shots and then I'm going to start the long, lonely walk back to the bus. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Well, that's me back to the van after walking an hour in the dark from the top of Quiraing. Actually, it was a really peaceful, calm walk back actually, and the moon's out, so it's actually illuminating some of the landscape just beautifully, really subtly, but really nice. So anyway, that's it, job done. A great afternoon on the Quiraing. Really enjoyed walking amongst the snow. Didn't even mile the 2 mile hike either way either. So that's me done. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe, it's somewhere down here, and you'll be notified of any of my future videos. So leave a comment as well if you will, but for now I'm going to go and make myself a bacon butty and a brew, and that's me done for the day. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Time for me to head off and park up in a nice quiet lay-by for the night. Bye bye.